Wellity, 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 if it isn't a stream. Hello, good time zone, and what is up, gamers? Hi, everybody, welcome in. Hope you're not sweating to death. It's too hot to stream, but I'm doing it anyways, probably to my own detriment, and I do apologize if you can hear the fan, which you probably can, because if the fan is too loud to have running, like, with the mic and stuff, I will end the stream. Because I cannot be in the room without it. It's nasty here. Anyways, hello to Eddie. Thank you so much for the lurk. Advent, hello, welcome in. I hope you had a nice bowl of oatmeal. And hello everyone else who is hanging with us today. It's lovely to be here. Oh, jeez. Anyways, my face is too hot. I've got cold beverages galore, don't you worry. I've got an iced coffee here. I also have an iced tea. I don't have enough space on my desk currently to house all of this gubbins. I also have my painting, which we will be working on imminently, obviously. And I do have a can of Karma Drinks Organic Orangeade. I have never had this, so I have no idea whether or not it's delicious. I'm hit or miss on, like, orange soda beverages, because sometimes they are absolutely delicious, and then other times they are just, like, really flavorless. And sometimes they're just really fake, and I don't like flavorless, and I don't like fake. I want it to taste orangey and be fizzy and be preferably not full of stevia, but I don't think there's any sweetener in this. I'm just checking. It does contain 3.8% organic orange concentrate and natural orange flavoring and organic sugar. That's absolutely fine. I don't care. Anyways, hello Katie, welcome in. How are you doing? It's wonderful to see you, and welcome. This is, yeah, not the most comfortable place to be in the house, I don't think, but also not the worst place to be in the house. This is the wrong paint palette set as well, so, I'm gonna just put this to one side. I don't know why this is here, but that's not actually the paints that I'm working with today. So, let me just tuck it careful as I can to one side. We are painting some hamsters, as we are wont to do, because they are cute. And these hamsters love each other very much. Historians will say that they were very good friends. Anyways, I hope you're all well. I hope that you are coping. If it's hot where you are, I hope that it's tolerable. I would really like to put my hair up off, like, the back of my neck and stuff, because it just holds so much heat against my skin. It's really uncomfortable. But I also washed it a couple hours ago, and because of the humidity, it's taking absolutely bloody forever to dry, and I don't want to put it up while it's wet. Yay! So, yeah. Life's good. Oh, Advent's got AC. I love that for you. That's really nice. I hope that you're keeping nice and comfy. I am trying not to die currently. But I'm sure y'all, and especially probably anyone currently in the UK, under the circumstances, is probably really sick of hearing talk about the weather. So I'm going to try and think of other things to say, but I can make no major promises. It does, at the very least, look to be eventually letting up, but it's not letting up for about another week, according to the current forecast, and I hate that for me. I'm so looking forward to those days when it's going to be raining with a high of 21. Oh, gimme! I would love for the rest of the summer to be like that, even if I have to suffer, like, British people saying, oh, we didn't even have a summer this year. It's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Do you remember when your Auntie Betty had to go to the hospital because of heat exhaustion? Yes, you bloody did. Anyways. I definitely don't have any feelings about this whatsoever. But anywho, what have I done so far today? Oh, this week, so today I made a bean salad, which is exciting for me, but earlier this week I hopefully finished filming my next YouTube video, which is now in the editing suite, which means it's going to be done relatively soon, and I'm very excited for y'all to see it. It's probably not going to be that long, because to be honest, all of the takes of me filming, like, voiceovery look at camera stuff is only about a cumulative 40 minutes, and that includes a good number of retakes, because do I say things correctly the first time every time? I think you know by listening to me talk on stream that I most certainly do not. It is hopefully it's going to be fine and I'm not going to have to redo anything, but it is my first outing working with a new mic. I have a new mic that I hope will be nicer than the one that I was using previously for like filming purposes. It's not the same mic as I use on stream. This one over here, which is, you know, like, this is a good mic. But this, because it's, you know, because it's like attached to a dangly arm, it's more how shall I say? It's more appropriate for, like, if I was just recording a voiceover and I wasn't also being on camera, it would be a lot easier. But just because of its placement, it'd be really, I'd kind of have to lean over to one side the entire time that I'm filming myself talking into this mic. Which also has some, you know, like, gaffer tape and stuff on it and is not necessarily the most aesthetic. So, you know, that's a thing. But anyways, I just realized something is missing from the stream. I think, a little bit... The heat makes my brain run slower. It makes my body run slower in general. Obviously, I'm working to not, like, overexert myself in any way, shape, or form. But in so being, my brain is also not overexerting itself, it would seem. Thankfully, this doesn't mean that I'm, like, making serious mistakes in any way. Like, you know, for, you know, like, the boring admin aspects of my life that I have to do, I'm not, you know, like, effing that up, thankfully, but it just means in general I'm moving slightly in more slow motion than I usually do. Yeah, anyways, yeah, I hope that the video turns out okay. I hope that the new mic worked well. It is a bit of an adjustment because, previously I just, you know, I was using, like, an external mic, and this is a lav mic, so it is, like, attached to my clothes, and every once in a while, like, I'll adjust my hair or something and be like, okay, I have to make sure that I don't, like, brush my hair against the mic, because it's gonna go, like, and be really unpleasant to listen to, and I don't want to have to retake things because I'm just sort of, like, absently, you know, blowing my own hair into the mic. Edmund says, your streams and videos really slow down the internet for me. You make me very productive. Because I'm breaking your internet? I'm simultaneously really sorry, and also, you're welcome. Wow, that's really weird. I'm so sorry, I guess. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know whether or not to apologize. I'm very confused right now, but beans. Or maybe you're welcome. I think that broke me a bit. Okay. I'm gonna take the butt end of my masking fluid, the paintbrush that I use for masking fluid, and I'm gonna do a little bit of... I hope you enjoyed that tea stirring ASMR if you could hear it. No, not in the not working way. You make the internet not overwhelming. Oh, geez. Okay, cool. Well, you're welcome, I think. You're welcome, I think. Okay. I've realized that this glass of tea is, like, sweating. Because of the humidity, there's, like, beads of water convening on the outside of this cup of tea. And I have a piece of tailor's chalk on the table because I've recently been doing some measuring and cutting of pattern pieces for a new sewing project. So this should really go back in the biscuit tin because I've measured out all the pattern pieces I need to do. I don't know why I haven't put it back in the biscuit tin. It's going to go back in the biscuit tin if I can remember after stream, and I'm just going to pop it off to one side over here just so's I don't... you know, accidentally disintegrate some of the chalk because it's touched, like, condensation on the outside of a, condensation on the outside of a beverage vessel. Because that would be silly and kind of bad. Anyway, Silver, hi, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Welcome. I hope you are well. I hope you're having a lovely, whatever the heck day is, Thursday. I'm doing my Thursday thing. And yeah, p.m. Warm, but that's fine. That is as to be expected, and I think with as many drinks as I have, I'm probably coping about as well as I could do, so that's also fine. I don't know whether or not I'm expecting a doorbell at some point. I think there's something that I ordered that should have shipped by now, and it should be out for delivery today, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that it will be. And if it is, oh god, I will never ever ever, I don't like having people if I was expecting to have a visitor, A, I would be panicking right now because I haven't tidied, and B, I would have canceled stream. I don't, that's actually, that's a fair point. That's something that I've been thinking about recently. I was reminded of this, and wow, I haven't checked my emails at all today. I've got so many emails. Let me just see if I can, okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, that's actually something that it's interesting to mention that, because that's something I've been thinking about recently. There are, and obviously, like, okay, apparently it's at the delivery depot and we'll let you know when it's out for delivery, which means it will probably show up. There will be a doorbell at like 7 p.m. They'll throw it at the door, hoping that it hits the doorbell as it is thrown, and then like drive away immediately. And I will have to step outside in my house slippers and hope that I don't lock myself out. I have qualms with the one delivery service and the one courier from the delivery service, because this guy does not wait until I've answered the door to hand off the thing. He just dumps it at the door and runs away, and I've never seen the guy. Hi, Leaky, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. I'm just ranting about deliveries. Hello, I hope you're well. I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're hydrating and staying cool if you are in a warm environment. But yeah, so the one delivery service, like, they deliver on time, and, everything is fine, except for the fact that they do not actually hand off the item that they are delivering to me. They just leave it at the door, run away, and drive off, which I do not prefer, because of the way that my front door works. My front door opens outwards, so if you put a parcel here, and I have to open the door outwards to get it, it's now being dragged across the pavement, and I have to step outside. Okay, this is me. This is me answering the door, okay? I have to step outside and around the door to collect the thing. I didn't grab my keys on the way down here because I didn't know who was at the door. And now I have to try and, like, sneak back in before the door is able to close. I'm in my house slippers, mind, and now my house slippers are dirty, and I resent this. And get back inside. Logistically, it's a massive pain in the backside. If the door opened inwards, I could just open the door, grab it, and come in. But no, the door opens out, so now it's like, it's getting dirt all over the bottom of the box that I now have to take into my house, and now there's dirt in my house. Thank you so much for the dirt. I appreciate, that's bonus content. Wow, thank you so much. I sound like a real complainy guts, but you know what? Like, yeah, it's annoying. Leaky!
Oh hell yeah, Leaky just subscribed. Bar 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 bar. Bar day a bar day a da da.
Well, Nicole had an interesting go at that one. I think she mostly got there. I mean, I get that you're doing the ba 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 da 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 da, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for the sub, Leaky. Thank you for 19 months. Thank you, and I hope that you have a wonderful time enjoying your emotes and stuff. Hello, alert, anyone there? Is the alert not working for everybody else? I could see it. Or is it just is there maybe just a really long delay for you? I don't know. Hopefully it's working. If anyone else didn't see that, please let me know. Though that's confusing. Anyways, Sonic the Courier up in here says, Katie, yeah. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. Silverin says, thankfully a lot of delivery people Thankfully, a lot of the delivery people put it on top of the shoe rack. Oh, you've got a shoe rack to put it on. That's nice. That's nice. There isn't really anywhere outside my door where they could put it other than just, like, the front step. Because on either side, it's just, like garden plants and stuff. I guess they could put it on top of, like, the meter box, but I'd rather they didn't, because I still have to go all the way outside to get it. Anyways, thank you for the 3-stream steak, Silver. I appreciate that as well. But, yes. Okay, catching up with chat. Rex, hi, welcome in. Hello, Rex. Lovely to see you as well. Rex says, the concept that they even knock is wild to me. Oh, really? In the US, they plop it and go, yeah. Here, they usually ring the bell and then hand it off. Or, in this case, they ring the bell, or they plop, ring the bell, and then run away really, really fast. Which, again, hate. Oh, that's not how the music goes. Oh no, did I break it? I'm sorry. The alert worked fine eventually. Yay! Maybe my stream is just really delayed because it's also having heat stroke. Yeah, Advent prefers the plop and go. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's also slightly annoying when I, like, rock up and it's been hours and there's a parcel sitting at the door and I didn't know that it's been sitting at the door the whole time. And it's raining. And it's ever so slightly not quite under the little awning. Hate that a bit. What is a meter box? So it's our gas meter. So the way that it is the means of measuring your gas and electricity usage is measured by this little meter that, like, the little number goes up every time you use a certain unit of gas or electricity. In our case, the gas meter is situated outside of our house, and it's housed in a sort of plastic, container, effectively, outdoors, so that it's protected from the elements. So we have a little, like, Allen key that you use to, like, open up the top of the meter box to check what the number is, and give that number back to the company so that they can charge us effectively. Our meter is currently broken. We contacted them about this, and they're like, well, you should really have a smart meter fitted. The smart meter, like, updates all this information in real time, and therefore gives a much more accurate reading, which nominally is better, but we can't have a smart meter installed because the gas meter, where it is situated relative to our house, to our actual property, because we're on the first floor of the building, it's too far away, and the smart meter can't talk to the house because it's too far away. Yay, free electricity. Unfortunately, that does not mean that the gas is free. It's the gas meter. It just means that they're, like, having to make a guess as to how much we should be paying per month, and then eventually we give them a meter reading, and they're like, oh, you've overpaid by £100, and then we have a credit with the company that we can ask to be refunded or just go towards future payments. Or they'll be like, oh, wow, you've been vastly underpaying, give us more money, whichever. It's almost always, you've been paying us too much money. I hate the way that gas and electricity works and how it's billed. I find it very frustrating. But I also really hate the smart meter thing. Made me so stressed until I figured out that I can turn it onto its side such that the display that tells you how much exactly it cost to boil the kettle just now, because when we first got it, I was getting stressed seeing the little number tick up every time I boiled the kettle or switched the lights on or something, and I was finding that incredibly, like, anxiety-inducing, right? Just seeing how much money I'm spending on this shit. Pardon my French. So eventually I realized, okay, the smart meter still works if I turn it around such that I can't see the display and hide it behind a bunch of boxes of stuff that I have on my countertop. It's still, like, adding up my electric usage so that I'm accurately billed by the electric company, but I don't have to look at it. I don't have to think about how much it costs to boil a kettle until my bill comes. I don't have to be scared about whether or not it's okay if I decide to cook pasta today, you know what I mean? which I was genuinely getting anxiety about for a while. And genuinely, we're not in such dire straits that I have to make decisions about whether or not I can afford to, like, run a microwave for 10 minutes. You know, like, I don't know what you're microwaving for 10 minutes. Maybe it's a Christmas pudding. I don't know. Anyways. Smart meters are fine, says Leaky, until you have a variable rate tariff, and then the smart meter goes, nope, cannot cope with this. They definitely have limitations, and I'm really genuinely annoyed with the gas company that apparently they're like, okay, you have to have a smart meter, and we're like, our house isn't even that. Our house is like, I don't know, 20 years old, but it cannot cope with a smart meter for the gas because of where the gas is metered from. And we told them this, and they ghosted us. So now we just don't have a meter reading. I don't know. It's really annoying. I know I need to go, like, yell at them more, but I'm just so tired. I'm just so tired. Anyways. But yeah, also. Someone was saying about something about putting something in the front. I can't do anything with the outside of my property because I live on the first floor of, like, a triplex of flats. So, the front door is not mine. The front door is managed by a company. But yeah. Anyways, so it goes. Imagine home ownership. Imagine something so wild and foreign as home ownership. This is not where I pictured my life would be when I reached my early 40s, I tell you, but well, I don't know how much of it is society screwing me and me screwing myself, but I think it's a really disfortunate combination of the two that led to a situation where, like, I'm not destitute, but I'm never going to be able to get a mortgage at this point in my life, despite being, by all metrics, a reasonably successful individual, you know what I mean? Like, nope. Anyways, I'm going to take a sip of my beverage. Caffeinated. This coffee is... Well, it's come up in temperature. It's definitely not feeling iced particularly more, but it's nice. This is, I can't remember what it is, but I think it was grown in Peru, and I think it's from Scenery Coffee, which are from London, but I got it here in Oxford at a cafe that often has different guest roasters. And one of my slippers was for some reason all the way on the other side of the fan, so I've collected it now. Anyways, also my face is incredibly sweaty, so I might need to stick my face directly in front of the fan for a minute in just a second, but I'm gonna put that off for as long as I can so that I can do a little bit of painting. I'm going to, I think I left this brown color on here last time, and I think it is a perfectly cromulent brown for the little wooden poles of my little clothesline that I've put up here. So I'm just going to reuse it for that, because I can. Anyways, how's everyone's week been? What have you been up to this week? I would love to hear all about it. As I mentioned, I finished filming my next YouTube video, or hopefully I finished filming it, because again, I'm going to have to take a really good look at how the sound is sounding from that footage. I mean, I do also have, like, the backup sound that, because I film on my phone, because I'm a cool kid who has, like, you know, technically I do have better quality cameras at my disposal, but they're my moderator / spouses, and he's like, you can use this to film your YouTube videos, and I'm like, I don't know how, and I'm scared. And I normally film these things while I'm in the house by myself, because I'm shy, and I get really self-conscious if I know that someone I love whose esteem is important to me can hear me filming. Anyways, Rex says, speaking of home ownership, I need to find a chimney repair company. The mortar is falling out. Oh no! I hope you're able to find a very good chimney sweep. I hope that they are so excellent that they wear, like, a dapper but disheveled top hat and speak exclusively in Cockney rhyming slang. That's what I hope for you. Katie says, I'm surprised the management folks haven't set up a designated spot for deliveries for the whole property. Nah. We have a mailbox. If it fits through the letterbox, it can go through the letterbox, but anything bigger than that, nah. I'm totally fine with things coming to the front door. I'm totally fine with, like, getting doorbells at the front door, which means that if something gets delivered, it's there and I can, you know, go get it. But Only if the person is there and hands it to me and doesn't put it on the dirty pavement in front of my house. And then makes me go out sometimes barefoot. And have to step onto the pavement, which... there is nothing more absolutely like a horrifying and makes me want to, my soul want to climb out of my body, I think, than the feeling of like dirt, you know, pavement on bare feet. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm having like a visceral reaction just thinking about it. I'm having to kind of like calm myself down. I don't know if you can tell. But anyways. Ugh. Edwin says, I reached out to family I haven't spoken to in a long time. Oh, cool. I hope it goes really well. I hope it's a very positive experience. Freddie says, hi, Sammy. Hi, chat. Hi, Freddie. It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. I hope you are well. And welcome in. Silver, it says autism. Is that a peer-reviewed diagnosis? Because thank you. Katie says, which is worse, barefoot or dirty house slippers? Oh, both is bad. 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 That's empathizing or relating, I guess, wizard. I feel you. Handshake. Unless handshake is bad because no touchies, in which case wave from a respectful distance. Anyways, dirty house slippers says Silver, because with barefoot I can pretend I'm a cat. Handshake is good. I could not pretend. If I pretended I was a cat, I would be allergic to myself, and I think I'd have some kind of crisis about that. Oh no. Handshake is good. Okay, yay. Ta-da. Handshake. Cool. Done. Anyways, I haven't decided what color I want this picnic blanket to be. I should probably decide on that. Probably some variation on, like, lesbian flag with a side of violet, because I am predictable. Freddie says, I have the type of autism that doesn't like my feet enclosed, so I'd go barefoot all the time everywhere if it was socially acceptable, except toilets, never ever toilets. Oh, understood, friend. I used to be, like, perma barefoot. Like, all the time I'd be barefoot. I do not like having to wear socks and shoes if I have, like, any ability to not have to wear socks. I used to wear sandals. Now I wear, like, Tom's style, like, just cotton canvas slip-ons most of the year. Unless it's super, super cold, in which case I will wear Adidas Gazelles, which are, like, my other safe shoe, but I have to wear them with socks. And I don't love wearing socks. When I'm in the house, though, I do wear a pair of house slippers, like, sort of Japanese style-y. I don't know. I've gotten used to it, and to be honest, they are unrestrictive enough, and they let through enough airflow, and I take them off if I'm sitting down, but it precludes any, like, surprise textures on the carpet or anything like that, touching my foots, so I'm happy about that, and yeah, anyways. Yeah, Silver says, make it socially acceptable, although I feel like it's a lot easier to do in my country, so, salute emote, I guess. Fair, very fair. But yeah, I didn't realize that was so much of a thing, that, like, it's just nicer to not have your feet all covered up. Freddie says, I hate socks, bane of my existence. I also hate washing then hanging them up to dry. That's fair. I'm used to washing and drying socks, partially because I live with a, year-round sock wearer. It's very rare that my person will wear just, like, sandals. Partially just because, like, it wouldn't be acceptable to wear sandals, like, at his job. So, you know, that's like a socks and shoes job. Anyways. Ooh, Miss Puffles, thank you very much for the posture check. I will do. How did you know that I looked like my PNG tuber? I mean, I guess that's kind of a given. That is, though I have to say, just to clarify, it is 32 degrees right now, and I'm not in a cardigan because it's too hot to be in a cardigan. But other than that, my trousers are blue and I am wearing a light colored top, so the rest of it tracks. Anyways, yeah, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it, and I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. But yeah, anywho. I'm going to take a little sip of my tea, which, if memory serves, is fruit salad. However, just to be clear, just to clear up any confusion around the fruit salad of it all, because I realize that if you don't know, it's not fruit salad in the sense that, like, it tastes like somebody's chopped up a bunch of, like, pineapples and oranges and persimmons and strawberries and mangoes and put them all together in a nice delicious bowl for a snack. Ooh, melons, maybe some melons too. I've got melon in the fridge. I hope it hasn't fermented yet. I love having melon this time of year when it's super hot, but I hate that I feel like as soon as I buy melon, it wants to just, like, ferment because it's so hot. So I have to eat it straight away, and I forgot to eat it last night, so it's been in the fridge. Nevertheless, it's been in the fridge cut open, so pray for me that I don't, like, release it from its, like, plastic film and it's, like, gone yeasty. Because I hate that for me. Anyways, mouse cursor, are you going to function? Yes. Okay, let me catch up with chat. Freddie says, my person works in steel-toed shoes, so he wears socks all the time, too. I would not want to not wear socks if I'm wearing steel-toed shoes. My goodness. I very, very, very valid. It's good, says Miss Puffles. Hell yeah, glad to hear it. Katie says, I used to go barefoot. I wear socks around the house now. House shoes are required in kitchen and when visiting the basement. I compromised on socks because I lived with a cat and being able to detect paws, tail, underfoot was impossible with shoes. But certain surprises were also unwelcome. Yeah. That makes sense with cat ownership. For sure, for sure. Oh my god. Literally, my hair is holding so much heat against my head right now. It is crazy. I'm gonna need to take a quick break to just hold my head close to the fan, I think. I'm literally just fanning the underside of my hair right now. This is super normal of me. Oh my goodness gracious. Ha. Okay, that is a genuine improvement though, so yay. Question from Advent that I've never heard. What is this? Talking about food reminds me, does the UK have hot dog sauce? Or is that a German thing we do not have it in America? Please tell me, Advent, what on earth is hot dog sauce? As a British resident of many, many years. Oh good, my fan's fallen over. Yay! And knocking it over also triggered the oscillation setting. So it just looked like it was, like, writhing uncomfortably on the floor for a second there. Oh no. But yeah, no, I've never seen or heard of hot dog sauce. I would say if you were to have a hot dog here, I think that the expected standard issue condiments would be just, like, ketchup and mustard. Personally, if I were to have, like, a veggie dog, a tofurter situation, I will just have ketchup. My preferred sauce for a hot dog is ketchup. I understand that, like, Hot Dog Association of America declared that having just ketchup on your hot dog instead of ketchup and mustard should be reserved only for those under the age of 18. To which I say, screw you, you're not the boss of me, I don't like mustard. Get in the bin. No. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the, like, standard hot dog compliment is, like, ketchup and mustard, maybe some crispy onions? Maybe some crispy onions. When I was in Denmark, I got a veggie dog at a hot dog stand for lunch one day, because Denmark likes a hot dog sausage sandwich type situation. And that came with, like, ketchup and maybe also mustard and definitely also remoulade sauce, but I asked for not mustard if there was mustard, and also raw onions and also crispy onions and then also pickles. I would have been happy just having it with ketchup and pickles personally, and I would have preferred the pickles to be on the side. I'm so neurotypical. Anyways, anywho, let me catch up with the chat. Hot dog talk. Sometimes I miss my long hair and then summer happens and I think I'm never going back, says Freddie. That is so valid. I have considered a couple times in the last couple of heat waves that we've had. It's like, do I really need my hair to be this long? I don't want to get rid of it. I love my long hair. I adore it. My hair's never been this long. It's never been this long and healthy. It's like my curls are lovely. They make me so happy, and woof. It's too hot. It's too hot, but I'm not chopping it. I'm not chopping it. I love it too much. I love my gray stripe is getting longer, and so I just have this beautiful like silver ringlet in there. It's just so cute. Freddie says we do veggie hot dogs with sauerkraut, mustard, ketchup, and mayo because mayo is my hyper-focused food. Valid. I actually just got I don't normally have mayo in the house, but I fancied like a toasted lettuce or a toasted tomato sandwich, which I haven't had in years. But the traditional application of a toasted lettuce or toasted tomato sandwich is preferably wholemeal bread toasted. I will use the like gluten-free Vitality bread, which is my favorite. Very thin scrape of mayo, and then fresh, seasonal, locally grown tomatoes or lettuce in abundance. And salt. That's the sandwich. It's the best sandwich. It's the best sandwich because the produce is top tier and super flavorful and delicious. That's the important thing. Anyways, Advent says, I'm not sure what it is. I only heard a German person mention it. I'm not familiar at all. Chili sauce or coney sauce, says Katie. I haven't heard of either of these. I mean, bearing in mind, I'm also not American, so this is not my area of expertise. Evan says, I found a picture of what I'm talking about. I realized I don't have a place to send it. Can you like describe it to us? I am curious. Coney sauce is a savory, fine textured meat topping that, like a ragu. I'm confusion. Leaky says my hair is too long. Is it time for a trim, or I forget to apply sunscreen to my neck if it's shorter. Oh, I see. Well, in that case, I guess it's a little protective, so maybe not a haircut. Hello, chat. And Marcy, hello, welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're well. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Welcome in. Edmund says, I'm talking about a product that the company that's not a company I've ever heard of either. Okay, yeah, this sounds like a German product that does not exist elsewhere. It might be one of those things where I've definitely seen here in the UK that there's like that there will be like American style foods, and I'm like that does not exist in America. Things like there'll be like American style pizza. And when I think American style pizza, I think either, like quintessentially, I guess, like the New York slice, which is cheese, maybe pepperoni, right? Especially the pepperoni that's like curls up when it cooks, because it's sort of like constricts and it's got like all the grease. That's like American, like, like New York dollar pizza. Back when you could get a pizza slice for like $1. It wasn't the best pizza in the world, but it was always pretty adequate. But anyways. Or the Chicago-style deep dish pizza, yes, is also an American pizza. And Detroit-style pizza, also, yes, a very American pizza. And even St. Louis-style pizza, very American pizza. But I think when you think of, like, American pizza as a generic entity, you're probably thinking of, like, a New York-style slice, right? Anyways. Or Domino's. But, like, the UK will come out with, like, it's an American-style pizza. We put cheeseburgers in the crust and hot dogs on top of it. And I'm just like, you're just putting other American foods on it. So you can cut, like, that's not, I mean, I'm sure that America would love a cheeseburger pizza, but, like, good lord. Light mustard with fruity notes, says Rex, as to the American hot dog sauce. So it's a regional mustard. I'll pass. I will pass on the, I will pass on the mustard, but that's because I hate mustard. But that's really interesting. But yeah, that's a very specific thing that is not something that is actually sold in America, but probably labeled that way so that German people understand what it tastes like. Thank you for piquing my interest about this. Supposedly the barbecue is described as a barbecue sauce by Google. Okay, now I'm confused. So where are you from, says Emarzi. I live in the United Kingdom. I am from Canada originally. But yes. I mean, mustard makes sense as a hot dog sauce in as much as it's a very popular condiment for hot dogs. Just not for me personally, because I think it's nasty. Also, it's been a very long time since I ate a hot dog that was not some kind of veggie dog. Because I don't eat the pork beefs. Anyways, I am going to take a sip of my fruit salad tea, which I think I started explaining what it was, and then I stopped. It's not fruit salad in as much as it's like a salad made from an assemblage of fruits. It's fruit salad in as much as there is a classic, like, chewy sweet available here in the UK called fruit salad, because it's like two fruit flavors. I think it's like technically pineapple and raspberry, but it doesn't really taste like anything. It tastes like sweets. And this tea is meant to taste like that, which it also doesn't really. It just tastes like a sweet herbally fruit tea. It's nice. Anyways. Oh no, Marcy says, I was thinking she sounds American. What does she mean? She's an American, but I'm Australian, so I can't tell the difference between Canadian accent or American. Excuse my ignorance. That's okay. Here's a primer for you. This will get you like 98% of the way most of the time. So Americans say sorry, dollars, and college. And Canadians say sorry, dollars, and university. That's usually a pretty good benchmark, in my experience. I hope that helps. Anyways, Leaky says, I feel like a veggie dog has more meat in it than the average hot dog. Oh! Probably contains less old phone books. And more soy. Which I enjoy, because it's yummy. Anyways. Freddie says, in Belgium, they now put this 5-point scale on foods to say how healthy or bad they are. Oh, yay! I love it. And all of a sudden, freezer pizza needs to be healthier, so now they all taste like cardboard with tomato sauce. No! Like, they're just pizza. Pizza's not supposed to be healthy. Let me enjoy my greasy comfort food. I feel like that's very similar to when they brought the sugar tax in here in the UK for soft drinks. And most, like, mainstream soft drink companies like Pepsi and Fanta and whatever responded to this by making their sodas healthier. And it's just like, oh, you just made them worse. And Marcy, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Thank you. But yeah, no, it's so frustrating that they do that to pizza. It's just like, no one is choosing pizza because they think it's the healthiest choice. They're picking pizza because it's yummy. Come on, you know? Like, I listen, every Wednesday, because Wednesday is a very busy day for my moderator / spouse and I, because we do our, like, midweek grocery shop on Wednesday, so we don't have as much time to cook dinner, so we have a pizza. We're very aware that it's not the healthiest meal. I do usually add, like, vegetable toppings and stuff, so it's a little bit easier, but but yeah. Wait, how are you filming this? Both of your hands are free. Okay, I can't really... It's hard to explain. Okay, so here, this that you're looking through right here is a camera that is attached to a flexible, well, not flexible exactly, but like a multiply jointed arm that holds it in place. Let me... Hold on, I can show you... If I can find some paper here. Okay, here's an oil color block. I'm going to use the inside of this front page to hopefully demonstrate how this is working. Sammy has a third arm. Thank you, Leaky. Yes. But if there's a camera there, how can you see the paper? Okay, so let me explain. This is what I will show you in this diagram what I'm seeing. Okay, over here is a bookshelf. Clamped to the bookshelf is this unit. Here's a joint. here's a joint, here's a joint, and here's my camera, right? And then there's the desk, there's my water cup, there's my paint brushes, and here's what I'm painting. So the camera is looking directly down at the work surface that I'm painting on. Oh, I do apologize. Here's one of my many beverages as well. The camera is looking down at what I am drawing here, and it is angled in a way such that it's not impacting my own line of sight. So, yeah. I may not be quite as hunched over the desk as I look in the PNG tuber with perspective and stuff. I'm probably actually a couple inches behind that so that my head is not actively butting up against the camera, which I'm doing right now for illustrative purposes. Apologies for the shaky cam. I hope that helps. I've never actually drawn this setup before from this angle, but hopefully now that makes a little bit more sense visually. I can take a photo of it. I can take a photo of it so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. So here's, hang on, here's, okay. Okay, so now you can see how little desk space I have surrounding the things because, yeah, so here's the camera. Here's the camera, here's what I'm painting, and here's all of my other paints and stuff in the surrounding area. Oh dear. There's a lot of them. Anyways, most of those are my moderator / spouse's Warhammer paints, because there are so many of those. Cozy, I guess, says Silver. Like, listen, it works for me. I know it's not like, it's one of those things where, like, I feel like I could never have one of those, like, hey, let's take a tour of my studio, and my studio is so, like, aesthetic and whimsical. My studio is not aesthetic and whimsical. My studio, unless you consider, like, a huge collection of, like, Warhammer sprues and half-painted Warhammers, and also sewing supplies, and, so many boxes. Unless you consider that aesthetic and whimsical. I don't know. Thank you for showing me I was so confused, says Amarzi. I'm so happy to help. That desk says the streamer also has ADHD. I'm feeling very diagnosed right now, Leaky. Also, in my defense, this desk says the streamer and their moderator / spouse have ADHD. Like, I'm not one to armchair diagnose if he hadn't also said it himself, okay? We love each other very much. Yes. Okie dokie. Let me catch up with chat. Wait, sorry. I missed something about a breakfast pizza. Oh, I think I missed a few things about pizza. Katie says, my school did pizza as a hot lunch option regularly, and by all accounts, it wasn't that good. Cardboard with red sauce was a common complaint. That sounds like a school lunch pizza. It really does. My secondary school did, to their credit, they did do chips with gravy that I genuinely have, like, fond memories of being very delicious. And on Fridays, they did a genuinely very good fish and chips as well. So, all things considered, I consider myself fairly lucky that if I really felt like having a hot meal at lunch, I could go get one. And it was pretty cheap too, which is nice because, like, you know, we were teenagers, we didn't have any money. Anyways, the tomato sauce is slightly sweet topped with sausage bits. That's the breakfast pizza. I'm so sorry, Advent. That sounds bad. Freddie says, my studio is mostly so much stuff and too many tables. If I had more space, I'd stick it at an extra table because I'd like to display things like a museum. That'd be really, really cool. A Freddie museum would be amazing. Love it. Anyways, Dr. Leaky MD. Yes, thank you very much indeed. And on that note, I need to take a little break because the ads are about to run, and I don't want you to miss any of the action that surely is going to ensue after the break. I'm sure I'm going to paint things eventually. So please enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. Have a beverage if you need to. Go hydrate, and I'll see you very shortly. BRB. Hello, friends. I return. Oh my god, my back is killing me. Does anyone else have this where just like your muscles hurt more when it's really hot? My muscles hurt more. My joints are crackier. And I get trapped nerve pain a lot more easily. Just everything hurts harder when it's hot. It's really annoying. Anyways, I was also, I don't know what my brain, it's just become like an earworm for me apparently. But I know it's been many days, but I still apparently can't get, and you won't understand this if you weren't at last art stream. But I still just have running around in my head is just Nog, you complete and utter dingbat. It's the funniest thing I've ever experienced in my life. I don't know why. It just tickles me. Anyways, hello. Q2 is welcome in just in time for the break. I'm really sorry. I hope that the ads were fine. Anyways, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Leaky says every person with an ADHD diagnosis gets a free ADHD DAR so they can support their people a mile off. I genuinely feel like that's the case considering the number of people that I organically made friends with not knowing that we all had the ADHD. It is wacky. It just, I don't know, it's like our brains, it's not that our brains telepathically communicate with each other, but I think we just have sort of a similar wavelength because of our neurotype that tends to, you know, like attracts like, I guess. Anyways, oh no, noisy world sports ball related and nothing like the gentle piano music of the BRB screen. I'm so sorry. Everything is sports ball ads because of the sports ball event. But the good news is I'm sure it'll be over fairly soon. I don't actually know how long it goes on for. I hope your raspberry yogurt was delicious, Advent. I had a nectarine and strawberry smoothie with yogurt earlier. It was really good. Gazillion out of 10 do recommend, very refreshing, especially when your strawberries were frozen, so it was super cold. Yum, 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 delicious. Anyways, autism, says Silver. Hell yeah. And can't take a hot shower to help the pain because it's too hot. Yes, exactly. Yes, you get it. My body does okay in heat, but my brain just nopes out, says Freddy. Oh, yeah, that's also a mood. I'm feeling slow as molasses. Cranky? Hello, Cranky. It's lovely to see you. Echolalia has been the bane of my existence. I know this extremely well. Silvern is praising the BRB music. I wish I could claim that I did anything other than find it, have a license to use it in my content, and do so. But I'm glad you like it. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're nearly to the quarterfinals, says Cranky. Okay, cool. I hope everyone who's like following it and watching the teams do stuff is having a good time. I hope all of the players are enjoying themselves and doing their best and feeling good about themselves regardless of whether or not they win a match. Nectarine is essentially the same as a peach, but if you imagine a peach where the skin is smooth and doesn't have fuzz on it, it is that. It is a bald peach, basically. They are otherwise incredibly similar and incredibly delicious. I love them. But yes, they were certainly not quiet, says Q2's. I'm so sorry, I really am. Brazil lost so everyone else can go F themselves and I hate them, says Cranky. I'm so sorry. But hey, I'm sure that Brazil had a good time and tried their best, and that's the most important thing, is that everyone does their best and has fun. So I hope that they had fun. It's a peach with alopecia. Yes, exactly, Silvered, exactly. But yes, nectarines and peaches are very similar. The difference effectively is the texture of the skin. Alopecia, says Leaky. That deserves a slow clap if ever anything did. Oh no, apparently this one VTuber's fault who's cursing every team she's cheering for so far. Oh no! She needs to be stopped! Katie says, I'm just pleased Belgium won over the US. That's the limit of my interest. And you know what? Good for them. I've visited more parts of the U.S. than I have of Belgium, but I will say when I went to Belgium, they had really, really good chips. And I liked it. So they also had, okay, Belgium had excellent chips and more trams than I experienced in the U.S. So Belgium wins, for sure. Anyways. I had to look up what Belgium did, says Freddie, because I have no clue. Won a sports ball. They won a sports ball. Cranky says the U.S. needs to keep that ego down. If they ever won, it'd be the end of the rest of us. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Heck. Yeah, what I love about being in England is, you know, every time there's some sort of like world sports event and they're like, it's coming home, and it's like, it's not like, I'm happy for you, but it's not gonna. But also, oh geez, speaking of, okay, once again, I just need to caveat this by saying this is an adult stream for grown-ups. I try not to let things get too explicitly spicy here because terms of service, so I'm going to keep this as vague as I can. But what I will say is I saw an advert the other day that was, literally could have been any business in support of the England team in the World Cup. And it just said, "Come on, England." Now, I think what they meant was, "Come on, comma, England!" exclamation point. But what it said was, "Come on, England." And boy, did it sound to me like it was not words of encouragement for the English football team, but rather a command to distribute one's seed over English soil. That's what it sounded like. Come on, England. Yeah. That's why, listen, this is why punctuation is important. It's the difference between let's eat grandma and let's eat, comma, grandma. Classic. Or, oh, Craigie says I heard it like exasperation, like, come on, England. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, maybe, I don't know what it says about me. I don't know what it says about me, but when I saw that, I was just like, come on, England. Wellity, wellity, wellity. That's a little bit spicy for a YouTube ad. Should I report this? I did also see a YouTube ad that was pretty explicitly an illustration of a weenie. And considering the things that I've seen channels get demonetized for, that really feels like a double standard in action, you know? But I think the difference is that they actually check the videos that are posted for, you know, does this breach the terms of service? Does this need to be demonetized? Versus if you want to stick an ad up on YouTube, there is not a human being vetting this stuff because so many of them are... I actually reported one that was an obvious scam, and I got a reply a couple days later being like, yeah, this doesn't violate our terms of service. I'm like, it's an obvious scam. They're selling a snake oil product that doesn't work. We know it doesn't work. They're lying to people. This is one of those ones that they're like, this portable air cooler is the size of a lunchbox. And a former aerospace engineer from Manchester named Steve developed this to help Britain stay cool. And it's like, you know that doesn't work if it's in like a bad advert with an AI voiceover. If it was actually a functional air conditioning unit that was that good and that small, you'd be able to buy it in like Curry's. Come on. Anyways. Come on, YouTube. There was a comma in there, importantly. Right. Let me catch up. Hey, I've heard it's a fair and pleasant land. I mean, when it's not this hot, it's pretty pleasant. If one is to come anywhere. Thank you, Cranky. Q2 says, I mean, Germany is elite at this. Okay, so we've got two translations. Let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. Jemanden umfahren, to drive around someone, or jemanden umfahren, to run over someone. Oh no! Oh no! Either oh good or oh poor jemand. Goodness gracious. Anyways, Eats, shoots, and leaves. Oh, that hungry panda with a firearm, says Leaky. Oh, I love that one. Delightful. Absolutely delightful. But yes, and that's why, listen, like, I once developed a, like, I think, a one-sided nemesis relationship with a tutor that I had at university. Because we were in this tutorial class. And he tells my tutorial class that, listen, there's no point in learning, there's no point in trying to use semicolons in your writing because no one understands how to use them correctly, so just don't bother. And I just thought, it's really not that difficult to explain that, like, a semicolon is used to connect these two parts of a sentence. Here are some use cases for when a semicolon is appropriate. You could just do that. And instead he chose to say, no one knows how to do this, don't bother. Instead of just, here are some examples where you would use a semicolon. I used a semicolon so many ding-dang times over the course of my academic career, y'all. Because it's an incredibly useful piece of punctuation to have in your arsenal, especially when you are discussing literary gosh damn theory. So I don't know why I'm so agitated today, but here we go. Rex says uses extra semicolons. Thank you, I love it. Anyways, have you ever considered making a Discord server? Oh, funny you should mention that, Advent. !! Discord in the chat if you want a link to the Discord. You can go hang out in there. You can find out when I'm live. You can also let us know when you're live if you stream. You can share your artworks with us or your works in progress of any kinds, arts and crafts, and if you bake sourdough bread, we would love to see pictures of your sourdough bread. Believe me, I will be seething with jealousy, but I'd love to see your handiwork. If you just want to talk about new games that are coming out that you think sound neat, or things that you've been playing, or whatever, you can do all that over there. It's a quiet place, but we have fun. It's a nice time, it's a nice vibe, and yeah, it's good. It's how I found out that Tiny Bookshop released, and then my moderator / spouse bought it for me. I love him so much. Anyways, but yeah, that is such a weird reason to not explain something. Honestly, it just felt lazy. It felt lazy, and also like underestimating the intelligence of your student base. Like, I'm sure some people might make, if a student is unused to using a certain piece of punctuation, they will probably make some early mistakes. Those get corrected in an edit, or when you're grading, just be like, this should probably be a full-on colon, or whatever, and just move on. He probably just didn't want to deal with having to correct people's, like, grammatical mistakes using semicolons in papers, and so just said don't use them. I put so many damn semicolons in my papers for this guy, and he never complained. Because I learned how to use them correctly. What a dingbat. Anyways, but yeah, that guy annoyed me, for many reasons. But yes, there should be a link to the Discord in the chat. If you do want to join, you absolutely can. But, yes, Katie says pronunciation is apparently, the difference between a near miss and a hit and run accident. Oh no! I'm so sorry for probably mispronouncing it. Anyways, I really should get Discord again, says Freddy, but just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I mean, that's totally fair, it's a social medium, and not everyone is required to like, be in the Discord if they want to hang out here. If you want to be in the Discord, that's absolutely cool. Obviously, the Discord has its own rules that I'd be grateful if you followed, but I trust you all to be adults and comport yourselves accordingly. And if you're here, you're probably pretty chill, so it's all good. But yeah, also you are under no obligation to join the Discord if you do not want to. Lots of people don't have Discord. I don't have many other social medias. I don't use Facebook. I don't use TikTok. I don't use... There's probably other ones that I don't use Twitter anymore, obviously, because it turned into a horrible cesspit and everyone I knew left. There's probably people I lost touch with just because I stopped using Twitter, but oh well. I don't use Threads, and my Instagram usage has dwindled significantly because it just kind of seems like I go there to look at the art that my friends are doing and recognize that no one is seeing the art that I do there because I have absolutely no idea how to be visible as an artist on Instagram. I've read so many articles about how to hack the algorithm on Instagram in whatever year it is that I'm looking, and I try and do all of the things correctly, and it just doesn't work. Yeah. Anyways. Advent says, why do you have to be live while a Drawfee episode released? How cruel. Well, maybe Drawfee should consider not dropping an episode while I'm live. Has Drawfee considered me? No. So why should I consider Drawfee? I jest. I will be watching the episode after dinner. I've literally just this very second, a notification has come onto my phone from Mr. Nathan Yaffe himself saying that they've done a new episode. We are drawing characters cosplaying as other characters in honor of our very special guest, Nordy, who is a cosplayer who's a friend of the channel. And you know what? That sounds like so much fun, and I look forward to seeing it. Oh my goodness gracious, that's super fun. Anyways, Rex says, so I was wondering if mustard was rare enough in Germany to call itself other than mustard. I'm pretty sure it's very common, in fact. Hey, Elquil! Isn't it like a fairly common like condiment to go with like, you know, like sausage? I feel like maybe I'm misthinking. I may be thinking of other Northern European countries where it definitely is. But yes, German word for mustard is Senf. Oh, I like that. That's fun. That's delightful. I will probably forget that again. But danke. Anyways, hello, Elquil. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Ah, ranch. You know what? If there is one food that I'm very grateful to America for, it is, in fact, ranch, yes. Ranch is delicious. Anyways, Q2 just mentioned, ranch. Drawfee isn't going anywhere, says Rex, except Karina. Yes, Karina has moved on to other pastures, which is fair enough. She was on that channel for a really long time, and people are allowed to change jobs, and I wish her the best. Isn't Nordy the voice of Kaiba? I know he's cosplayed as Kaiba, but I don't know if he's a voice actor. Anyways, huge if true. Freddie says, I think, if I think of German food, I think mustard in like the top 5 words, says Freddie. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But I don't think about a lot of German foods because a lot of them are foods I can't eat. Just very sad. Things like, pretzels and donuts and gingerbread and bread. Corn dogs, quintessentially American. Yes. We wouldn't have Korean corn dogs if we didn't have the US ones first, says Cranky. That's fair. I've never had a corn dog in my whole life. It was not really a thing in Canada, I don't think. There's a lot of... Voice of Drawfee Kaiba, says Advent. Perhaps. I do not know. Hello, Dan. Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are well. It's lovely to see you and welcome. Yeah, I've never had a corn dog. I'm part of a corn dog related world record, says Cranky. You can't just drop that and not tell us more. Pretzels are amazing. They're my favorite food. There's a reason there's a pretzel emoji and I say, pretzels when I do the accent thing. But man, I miss being able to eat like freshly baked soft pretzels, but I have not found any that are safe for my body. My moderator / spouse has just come home, so please feel free to wax poetically for a few moments about corn dogs or whatever, and I'll be back in just a second. You're all breathtaking. Oh, pretzels. Well, there goes a box of bits. I'll get that in a second. Everything's fine. Hi, baby. Get in there. I love you so much.
Did you knock over?
Just one of these little takeout containers with screws and bits in it. It's okay, I'll pick them up. Looks to me mostly bits and pieces.
I assume you didn't see my text
I didn't see it, sorry. Was it about the chips? Yes, I didn't get a chance to respond, I'm so sorry.
So what should we have done?
Chips? Like,
Salted or unsalted?
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Literally doesn't matter. What did you get? Oh, I love you.
Well, I figured we can just eat it.
I didn't realize that there was a difference. Alright. Well, friends, my moderator slash spouse and I are having nachos tomorrow. I'm very excited about this. And I did indeed knock over a little takeout container full of Warhammer bits and bobs. So I'm tidying before I come back, because I do not want to leave a mess of Warhammer bits and bobs. They're all very important. Especially whatever this piece is. What is this? It looks like a little gun. Pew pew. And indeed, pew pew. Okay, I think I'm going to try and come back to my seat at the desk now, because there's a couple bits that have landed over here. Hi. Oh.
Maize is corn, isn't it?
Maize is corn. Yeah. That's the corn that they make nacho chips out of. I am so excited for nachos. Those are going to be very good. Delicious and nutritious. I say nutritious because there's beans in the dip. The beans are very good for you. I think my moderator slash spouse just asked me something, but he's in another room and there's a fan running, so I didn't hear him. Tonight is bean salad with lentils. Yeah. Tonight we're having a bean salad with lentils, chat. I'm very excited about that. In as much as I've already made it. Pew pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert Dibble Grub, says Leaky. I understood that reference, thank you. I want oh man, Freddie says I want chili now, so I'm gonna soak some beans. I've been craving chili for weeks, and it's just been too hot to get a big potto of anything going in the kitchen. I love that for you. I think the closest place to get soft pretzels is about an hour away, sadly, says Advent. I'm so sorry. I mean, you could always bake them yourself. I have made my own pretzels. It's actually not that hard. But then again, I did also, for about 3 weeks of my life, bake bagels professionally, so I may have a slightly different perspective on what's difficult. Freddie says soft pretzels are a hard find here. I know where to find them in Antwerp. So they're a special treat for me, but boy do I love them. They're so good and I miss them so much. I think Q2's, I've just seen your message to moderator slash spouse. I think he's just gone in the shower, but I will shout. Q2 says that they love you, sweetie. I'll let him know afterwards as well, just to make sure. Anyways. But yes. I think I missed some corn. Does the corn dog taste like corn? No, it's like a batter that's made from cornbread dough, right? I think. Just had chili dogs, says Advent. Very topical. That is very topical. We've been talking about hot dogs and chili, and that is both of those things. Wild. Anyways, I've been thinking about making specifically like a sweet potato and black bean chili. It's so good. It's so good. My mother makes it. It's amazing. I asked her for the recipe and she's like, I don't remember where it is. You can just Google it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So this isn't like an old family recipe. This is just you go to the search engine on your phone every time you want to make this and find the top result. It's a very wet cornmeal batter. Oh yeah, because like you take the hot dog, you put it on so for anyone who's unfamiliar with a corn dog, you take a hot dog, you put it on a stick, you dip the stick in No. I think my brain is dying. I think my whole brain is dying. I'm gonna open this orange aid. Because I think I need the glucose. Mm. Oh, that's delicious. You dip the stick of hot dog into the goopy cornmeal batter. Dip the stick in goop, says Rex. Yes, exactly. You dip... Oh no, you do this clips. Oh no, if this is the clip that I become famous for, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh god, can you imagine? Anyways. Okay, so you take the hot dog on a stick, and you take a hot dog that is on a skewer, and you dorp it into the cornmeal goop batter, and then you fry the whole thing, and then you artfully drizzle ketchup and mustard over it in a nice sort of overlapping zigzag pattern so it looks really beautiful and aesthetic, and then you eat it. Sammy gave up on language. Sometimes if a word is just not coming out of your mouth correctly, just choose something that has a similar meaning with different phonemes. Anyways, the Korean ones use a yeast batter instead, which is why they're so fluffy, says Cranky. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So they like puff up. Advent hates ketchup. Don't tell this to my moderator/spouse because he loves it even more than I do. I like it in limited applications on hot dogs with chips, or sometimes a different like chip adjacent, also sweet potato fries, other chip adjacent things. But generally those are the only places where I'd have ketchup. Get weenie goopy then hot, says Rex. Yep. That's some excellent note taking. Yeah. Definitely. Anyways, put chopped up French fries on the outside, says Cranky. Yep. I mix my ketchup with hot sauce when I use it. Ooh. Delightful. There is like a bottled sauce that you can get that I think is just like a spicy ketchup. I can't remember what it's called, but I think it's basically like a spicy ketchup. That sounds fun. I do have a bottle of Taco Bell sauce in my fridge. I literally brought back a bottle of Taco Bell sauce from Canada because I think the little sauce packets that you get from Taco Bell are honestly really good sauce. I don't know if that's gauche of me as someone who's generally like, pretty, I wouldn't say gourmet, but like I try to make an effort to be somewhat at least like elevated when it comes to my home cooking, but I also like to sometimes just have like veggie non-chicken nuggies and like hash browns and steamed peas for dinner, and sometimes I like putting Taco Bell sauce on, like my delicious like bean dip. In Germany there's yes, I've seen curry ketchup before. I have most definitely seen curry ketchup before, to the absolute horror of my moderator/spouse, who is not a fan of most commercial curry blends. There is some, we don't know what it is, but there's some spice in there that is, if it's used in like enough of it might, I don't know if it's black pepper or like chili pepper, but if it's in enough of a concentration, if it's like ambient because it's been cooking, his nose starts to itch and he starts to sneeze. I don't know which ingredient it is, but it's not something that I use at home. So like homemade curry, safe. Shop-bought curry, danger, danger, bad time. So if I want curry, I have to make it myself. No curry ketchup for me. Though, I like a Japanese curry sauce situation, because Japanese curry sauce comes in these like pre-portioned blocks, and I can just make one serving of Japanese curry sauce real easy. You just add like water to it. It's delightful. Anyways, I don't like their tacos, but their nachos are good, says Advent. I actually think that they're one of my preferred like fast food chains, in part because it's really easy to find gluten-free and like veggie-friendly foods at Taco Bell compared to a lot of other places. Like, if I had to go to a McDonald's, which 98% of the time I would not choose, but if I had to go to a McDonald's, here's what I can have from the McDonald's menu. And I'm not even sure if I can have one of these. I can definitely have the fries. I can definitely have the sweet and sour sauce, which is my preferred dip from there. And I think I can have the side salad, but the last time I did, there were some kind of crispy onions on it. And I don't know whether or not those crispy onions were, like, fried in some kind of batter that might have been wheat flour based. So I ate around the crispy onions and then gave half my salad to my moderator/spouse because I didn't want to have a reaction to them. Well, because we were like traveling at the time. I was like, I didn't know that this came on the salad and I don't know if I can eat it. Oh no. Such fun. Anywho. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what colors I want these guys' outfits to be, I think, so I can actually do some painting today, because we haven't done any we are an hour and a half into stream, and I haven't really painted much other than these two sticks. which feels unproductive. I know y'all are not here for the productiveness, but is Taco Bell actually good? Says Silver. It depends. I tried it once and it was ass. I think it depends on what you get. It probably depends on the location to a certain extent. And yeah. I do like their bean-based, corn, tortilla-based foodstuffs in as much as I can eat them, and I like the sauce. So there. But I'm not much of a connoisseur of the fast foods to begin with. Oh, y'all, I need to show you this. Yesterday, I had a punnet of strawberries for dessert, and I just need to see the enormity of this one strawberry. It was so large. I think it's like 3 strawberries that, like, are conjoined, basically. Because in order to have it be the same serving size as any of the other strawberries, I had to chomp it into 3 pieces. It's so thick, says Advent. This is a beautiful strawberry. This is also probably one of the kinds of things that, like, health and wellness grifters would point to as evidence that, like, the strawberries that you buy in the supermarket aren't natural and you shouldn't be eating them because they're poison or something. They're not poison. They're perfectly fine. Gardeners and farmers and what have you for literal millennia have engaged in, like, you know, selectively cultivating fruits and vegetables to make them, like, grow more easily in different environments. 1 second, my moderator / spouse is at the door. Hey babe, what's up?
They're definitely poisonous, and you should buy my supplement as a replacement.
Oh, are you selling snake oil now, babe?
Hey. It's not easy, or like milking those snakes.
My husband says it's not easy milking those snakes.
Buy the drink.
You gotta buy them a drink first. Thank you, sweetheart. I like the stacker sauce at Burger King, says Cranky. Ooh, what's in it? Tell me more. Not that it's relevant to me because A, I can't eat it, and oftentimes the menus of these fast food places varies, like, pretty significantly from one country to another. They do tend to be fairly localized. Leaky says that McDonald's say that you can make them at plant or veggie deluxe gluten-free by asking for it without the bun. I was tempted to do that last time I was in Mackie D's, but I was scared that they would, like, give me a bun by mistake. My moderator / spouse has just said a swear word, so I'm gonna go check on him. Baby, what's going on? One moment, please, chat. Okay, I'm not sure where you're gonna put it, but... Careful. I love you. Do you want me to do it? Are you okay? Okay, I love you. Okay. Hi. Everything's fine. Is the moderator / spouse body mouth? I mean, like, we both are. Anyways. This is very funny for a fast food place with regard to if you want it gluten-free, you can ask for it with no bun, yeah. But for making burgers at home, they say I usually don't use a bun. Me neither, to be perfectly honest. Even like when I could eat bread, like regular bread, I would still often not use a bun at home and just eat it with a knife and fork. But I don't know. If I'm getting it from a restaurant, I'm asking them to take a whole bunch of things off of my burger, and it still costs as much, Feels kind of bad. Freddie says, it's like an entire competition thing growing vegetables and fruits to ridiculous sizes. Oh yeah, there was a last summer, the summer before, there was this older gentleman who got quite famous in some corners of the internet for just having made this little YouTube video about, like, take a look at this beautiful big cabbage I grew. And he was just showing off, like, this cabbage that he grew in his garden, and it was a beautiful cabbage. And it was indeed a very big cabbage. It was really cool. Advent says, I cover my burgers with a lot of lemon juice so my bun would get soggy. That's an interesting choice. That sounds very refreshing. I usually put, like, a nice thin spread of either ketchup or barbecue sauce on a burger. And then it needs lettuce and fresh tomato if the tomato is good. And that's kind of all a burger needs of me. Like, I feel like it's kind of dwindled in the last few years, but there was a really big trend for a while of, like, going out to, like, a restaurant for a gourmet burger that's got all kinds of, like, super nice, ingredients, and it's, like, a tall stack of burger. Like, it's a fat patty, and, like, there's an onion ring on it, and it's got, like, all kinds of, and it's like this, and the thing that has always gotten me about this, and maybe this is because I don't have a particularly large mouth to begin with, but I'm like, I would have to literally unhinge my jaw to put this in my mouth. And if you are combining all of these ingredients together, it's presumably because you want the experience of eating it to be me tasting all of the ingredients in the right proportions all together at the same time. You're describing the gourmet burger kitchen, says Dan. Yeah, exactly. And any other such, like, restaurants, bars, gastropubs doing sort of a similar thing. It's just, you can't pick up and eat that. Humans don't have unhingeable jaws. You're just gonna give yourself TMJ disorder. No. Apologies to anyone who likes a tall burger. I just think that they're really cumbersome to actually sit down and eat. The last time I went to, like, I think it was Honest Burger was the last burger restaurant I went to and ordered a burger that came in a bun, and I just picked it up and ate it because they didn't give us cutlery, which I was not into. I was like, excuse me? I know that this is a burger and chips, but I still want a knife and fork just in case, y'all. Anyways, it was a perfectly delicious burger, but trying to eat it with my hands with all of the sauce and the things falling, it was so messy, and I do not like getting mess on my hands. I don't mind eating certain things with my hands, but I don't want to get, like, sriracha mayo on my hands while I'm trying to eat a burger. Because it slightly ruins the pleasant experience of eating the burger by having the continuous experience of having sriracha mayo dripping down my hands, which is a bit of a sensory nightmare. And also, I'm going to have to wash my hands like 5 times afterwards to make sure that my hands don't smell like sriracha mayo. Because sometimes, those, like, pungent sauce flavors really stick to you. Autism. Anyways. Rex says, there's a place I like that makes the Oh Cheeses burger. It's a burger where the buns are grilled cheese sandwiches. It's too tall, but it's also so good. I mean, you had me at grilled cheese sandwich, Rex. I would just like to be able to go someplace and eat a grilled cheese sandwich, because grilled cheese sandwich is a god-tier food. Hot damn. That's kind of beautiful. Cranky says you can always blend the burger and drink it too. That is a cursed smoothie. No, why would you say such a thing? Oh, I'm suffering at the thought of it. My goodness gracious, why? Oh no. Oh, and indeed, no. Anyways. Silver is playing some Celeste. Good night. Good night to you. Have a good whatever. Yes, I can bite any I'm a big proponent of forking and knifing my burritos, says Cranky. Yes, burritos can also be very messy, but I do love a good burrito, though. I miss burritos. Oh, man. Anyways, this is an advantage of my autism and hypermobility. I can bite any burger. That's good, and I hope you never have any joint pain following on from that. I really do.
Freddie says, for our wedding, we went out to eat gourmet burgers with the immediate family. It was awesome. I can stick my entire fist in my mouth, so most burgers go in just fine. Damn! You are the people that burgers are made for, apparently. It's just not me. Oh, I have constant joint pain. Oh no, I'm sorry. I wish you anti-inflammatories. I really do. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Truly, truly, 'tis true. Anyways. Advent says, my friend showed me a picture of a pre-made packaged burger, and I thought it was a cake at first glance. It was about the height of my chin to the top of my nose. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. The Cranky says there's a place in Des Moines in Iowa that does a burger like that. It's zombie themed. The burger is called They're Coming to Get You, Barbara. That's the name of the burger. Oh my god, what is this place? They have a burger with fried mac and cheese for buns called the Walking Shed. That sounds... I don't think my middle-aged cholesterol levels would escape that alive. I can lock my knees and infinitely and not pass out too. Congratulations! It made those warnings in choir really confusing. The burger place is called Zombie Burger, says Cranky. That makes sense. That's a fun theme. That's a fun theme and definitely not scary at all. I'm sure it's... Oh man, I miss mac and cheese. Actually, I bought some gluten-free boxed mac and cheese from Canada to bring home, and we had one of the boxes. It is like a white cheddar mac and cheese, the one that we tried. I got, I think, at least one box of white cheddar and at least one box of the orange cheddar. I insisted that we had to try at least one of each just in case they were different. We tried the white cheddar one, and it was the blandest boxed mac and cheese I've ever had in my life. Where's the flavor? I miss my KD. And I say this in part because the gluten-free KD that you can get in Canada is made using the American cheese sauce recipe and not the Canadian one. Even though the Canadian cheese sauce is gluten-free, I'm going to guess that the gluten-free mac and cheese is imported from the US. Frowny face. Sad. Anyways, I miss the good cheese sauce. I hope at least the orange cheese one that we got from that is GF that we got from Canada. It's a different brand to Kraft Dinner. But yeah. Anyways, I hate to say this, but no, I don't even want to say the name of that milkshake. I'm sure it's yummy, but I'm not saying that on stream. That's too horrifying of a deep cut. No. Anyways, Evan says that there's a horror ice cream place near them that's a trailer driven by a hearse. Amazing. Blame Zombie Burger. I do, Cranky. That's disgusting. No. Moving on. These two ladies are having a perfectly lovely picnic, and that's the important thing. Trying to decide what colors to paint their little outfits in. And having a good time. But yeah, I should probably reopen my little paint palette as well. I'm so incredibly warm. The Zombie Unicorn Milkshake has Lucky Charms in it. Oh man, I miss... You know, the thing is, I say I miss Lucky Charms cereal, but what I really miss about Lucky Charms cereal is just the marshmallows. The cereal is butt. Frankly, I have never been a fan of the cereal. Of the Lucky Charm. But the marshmallows. The marshmallows slapped. But I always thought that the cereal was a bit kind of just bland. And if I'm gonna have a bland cereal, Cheerios have a better texture. But the marshmallows were top tier. Probably if I ate the marshmallows now, I'd be like, what did I see in this? I know not. Because that seems to happen to me with disconcerting regularity when I try like a nostalgic, unhealthy treat of my youth as an adult. The one exception to this, it turns out, is fruit roll-ups. I brought a few boxes of fruit roll-ups back from Canada, and I've been getting through them. Have you ever put a fruit roll-up in the freezer and then enjoyed it? Because, oh my goodness gracious, that's good. So many cereals are like that too, says Cranky. Except Captain Crunch. I don't care if it cuts my mouth, it's delicious. I remember Captain Crunch being very nice, yes. It had a nice balance of texture and sweetness. Oh, did I ever tell y'all? Actually, that reminds me, because I was thinking about it the other day. Did I ever tell y'all about... In fact, I'm going to see if I can find the picture as I tell you this story. One time. So, I was not a big consumer of Captain Crunch when I was growing up. But I was familiar enough with it, obviously. There was so there are Captain Crunch spin-offs, which feels like a weird thing to say. It's how cereal has a spin-off, but so it has spin-offs. There's like Captain Crunch, and there's Captain Crunch that has like the addition of crunch berries, which are little, instead of the Captain Crunch, which is just sort of like a cereal colored pieces of crunchy corn, Captain Crunch with crunch berries has little like fruit, you know, sort of red and purple colored berry pieces that are vaguely fruity berry flavored, right? And then they came out with a spin-off cereal of that called Oops All Berries, where I guess somebody fluffed up and accidentally put nothing but the berry pieces into a box of cereal, or at least that's the marketing conceit, right? So it was called Oops All Berries. And I was aware of the fact that this existed, apparently, because one time, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago, I had a dream where I discovered that there was a newly released cereal called Oops All Boxes, wherein instead of, like, you open the cereal box and there's like tiny cereal-sized cereal boxes in the box of cereal, and in those boxes were more tiny boxes, and so I don't know how far the boxes went down, but it was boxes pretty far down as far as I can tell. The captain really effed it, according to that commercial, says Cranky. Yeah. But anyways, Oops All Boxes. So in order to explain that I had this dream about Oops All Boxes cereal, I did have to create and you'll forgive me if you have to look at my Instagram for just a second. I have an Instagram, by the way. I post my art there as well if you want to see what my art looks like. When it's done, it looks like this. But this was Oops All Boxes cereal. And as you can see, it's just a bowl of Captain Crunch Oops All boxes. But please note that I did actually go to the effort of also photoshopping the Oops All Boxes box that is the cereal-sized thing to also be covered in boxes. And if I could zoom this in far enough, and it's not high enough res for me to be able to zoom in far enough, but it's boxes like several layers of the way down. On this. What I'm saying is that I dedicated myself way too much to an accurate Photoshop job to explain a thing that I saw in a dream that was Oops All Boxes, and that it was boxes all the way down. Oops All Boxes, everyone. The worst cereal to ever be conceived of. You're welcome. So yeah, but that was my dream. I would eat Oops All Boxes, says Advent. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. The boxes are edible. I'll take it, says Cranky. I don't know what they were, because as far as I could tell, they were just tiny cereal boxes. But, I mean, I'm sure you could eat them. I don't know if they would be good. That's kind of what Weetabix is, says Cranky. I mean, you're not wrong. It kind of is. A cereal that's cubes instead of orbs, says Rex. That's too much work. I'm so sorry. Freddie says there used to be the cereal when I was really little, like at the edge of the age you could remember things. And there were like 3 different flavors, and they were all so good. I still crave them 30 years later, but they stopped making them. Of course they did, because they were delicious. And no other one I ever ate came close. And damn, it's frustrating because, like, I only had it for 2 years or something. 30 plus years of missing it. I'm so sorry. Cranky says that's so much work. It took a couple of hours, to be fair. Dan says I now understand your dream, so it's a success. Yay! Katie says right up there with Hot Pockets' new boiling water flavor. Oh no, that's horrifying. I want pyramid-shaped cereal, says Advent. Ooh. I'm trying to think of what, like, I don't really eat breakfast cereals here in the UK besides, like, cornflakes, I guess. If I'm back in Canada, I eat Cheerios. Because frankly, just classic yellow box Cheerios is to this very day my favorite cereal. It was honestly, if I really think about it, my favorite cereal across the board growing up. There were I liked all of the sweet sugary cereals, the Corn Pops, the Captain Crunch, the blah blah blahs. My favorite Cheerios, just classic oat toasted Cheerios, yum yum delicious. Cranky says, have you seen those Depression era water pies? Ooh, yes. I remember the water pies. I mean, I feel like calling it water pie is kind of... It makes it sound worse than it is. Because it does end up being kind of like a... Because, it's got, some kind of... It's got some kind of, thickener in it, and then it'll have, seasonings and that kind of thing. It is fairly simple, usually. It's sugar and flour, corn flour to thicken the water, so it's not just pouring water into a pan and then that's it. Maybe a bit of butter if they can afford it. But yeah, not the most exciting, but also when you're dealing with either extreme food insecurity because you have no income and you can't afford many things, or rationing, so there's just a ton of food that you would be able to get but you can't because it's not available because you're only allowed to have a certain amount of things. People find interesting ways to make do. And one of the interesting ways that they found to make do was something called a water pie. I remember the water pies, says Advent, makes it sound like you were there. Who's to say that I wasn't? We don't talk about our ages in the chat, no. I lived through the 80s. But not the 1880s. It has to be better than Stargazy pie. Stargazy pie sounds like it should be more delicious than it is. What I know of a Stargazy pie does not make me want to eat it. It sounds like it should taste like delicious nuggets of outer space, you know what I mean? That to me sounds like theoretically it would be delicious. And then you find out what's in it and you're like, oh, yeah, no, pass. I don't actually remember exactly what's in a Stargazy pie, but I remember it doesn't appeal to me, so there you have it. The list of pies, tarts, and flans on Wikipedia. I think Sammy is the one who taught me it existed. Please enjoy. But, yes. I may well have done. I honestly can't remember. So I'm making her outfit quite pink. Hopefully a nice blend of sapphic flag shades. Yes. Oh, anyways. Oh, that reminds me. There was this podcast YouTube channel that kept being recommended to me because they are, I guess, queer themed and they tackle all kinds of queer questions and queer history and stuff. But oh boy, does it ever feel like people who did not live through the 90s and have done in some cases very cursory and not entirely accurate research, and maybe I have more of a perspective on pre-2000s queer history because I do actually remember. I was a primary school child who didn't fully understand what was going on, but I remember hearing about things like the AIDS crisis in the news and stuff, so I feel I don't know, maybe that's just stuff that I remember ever so slightly more, but also, and, I also studied some queer theory when I was at university in the early 2000s. But yeah, it was really, I think I'm gonna have to do not recommend this channel. I won't name them, because I don't want to start a fight, but, because this VOD is gonna go on YouTube. But, one of the things, they mention in, one of their podcast clips something to do with, political lesbianism, but kind of just, they describe it so briefly and so poorly that they don't actually really touch on what that movement was. TLDR, it was a really genuinely quite harmful movement, in, the second wave of feminism in the 70s. In large part because despite having lesbian in the name, it was often quite lesbophobic and also led to
a number of like the prominent sort of proponents of this movement also ended up being very transphobic and transmisogynistic in particular. So yeah, those guys sucked. It's a bad, shitty idea. Yay. And a lot of them didn't actually really like lesbians anyways. Anyway, my point being, but yeah, it just really frustrated me, this channel that's like, hey, we're doing queer history, and then it turns out that they just like get stuff wrong a lot, and it just feels like, I don't know if it's just like young people being a little bit too eager and not actually putting in like the research that you need to do for these kinds of things. But yeah, Cranky says, yeah, if someone is going to educate others on queer history, they have to actually do their research carefully and not half-ass it. Yes, exactly, yes. You know? Like, I'm not saying that you have to have a doctorate or whatever, because that's really restrictive and elitist and untrue. But, like, you have to do the research. Cite your sources, you know? And make sure that you're getting things right, and make sure that you recognize nuance where nuance exists, because that's another thing about, you know, sort of like queer history, is there's a lot of nuance in there. There's a lot of things that, like, there might be things in the past of queer history that we can, like, look at and recognize as being, say, like, revolutionary, but also that the culture has moved on since then, you know? Anyways, yay! There's an ad coming warning, is not working again. Fantastic. Advent says we should make a stargazing pie that is blackberry and huckleberry with a few white sprinkles. Oh, little stars for sprinkles. Yeah! I would love that. Happy sapphic chicanery. Hell yeah, I recognize that. That's not what I wanted to anyways, I don't know that podcast. I think the ad break is happening. Okay, I'm BRBing. Sorry. Oh, Beans, I'm back. Hi. I'm sorry that that we got ambushed by the ads there. It's been really weird this week, because on Monday's stream, I'm pretty sure I didn't get like a heads up, because, okay, so normally, for anyone who doesn't stream, normally if you stream and have ads running like on a schedule, I have ads running 1 3-minute ad break per hour, which allows me opportunities to like refresh my beverages and go pee if I need to, and also means that no one gets pre-roll ads when they first join the stream, which is really important to me. But to my great annoyance, normally I get a little like bright green message that pops up at the top of my chat window to tell me, you know, like, I think 5 minutes in advance that ads are about to run. And I get a little countdown so I can be ready for when the ad break is about to happen and like let you guys know, and then blah 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 blah. Monday I did not get warnings about imminent ad breaks at all, and today I got a warning for the first 2 ad breaks. So an ad break runs right at the very beginning of streams so that, you know, people don't have to deal with it for a while. And also it happens when most people haven't actually joined the stream yet, which is great. I love that for them. So I got one for that one. I got one for the first ad break of the stream, and then I did not get one for the ad break just now. So I would say that the ad break thing is broken. Oh no. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing a game stream where I'm even more likely to not notice that I haven't had the ad warning, because my attention is more divided. Because, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna catch up with chat. So, yeah, we were talking about being bad at reporting on queer history, but trying to position yourself as like, you know, an expert. Honestly, I think that, so the reason that I'm aware of all of this happening is that, you know, like, I'd seen some of the clips from this podcast, and I was like, okay, maybe this just isn't for me, because, like, I was born before the 2000s, and I'm just too old to relate to a lot of things with, like, I guess, Gen Z, queer culture, because I'm, you know, kind of, I'm old, and I'm not friends with any of these young people these days, blah, 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 which isn't true. I've got friends across the spectrum of, adulthood, but yes.
But, yeah, Cranky says, yeah, the barrier to entry being in hell has some downsides. It does. I appreciate that the barrier to entry is low because it means that, like, I can research things and tell you about it. But I am also fairly obsessive about making sure that I haven't missed anything when I'm doing my research. And I have a whole ass video specifically about doing your research correctly and what happens if you don't do your research correctly. And it's about the inventors of the tea bag, and I genuinely think it's one of my most popular videos. If you haven't seen it, it's not very long and I do recommend it. It's from a couple of years ago. There's a link to my YouTube channel if you are interested. I think it's a pretty good watch, but then obviously I'm biased because I made it. But anyways, the one from the Vaults podcast, it's trans history, nice, has been around for a while, but never got very big. She still posts if I remember correctly. Ooh, I'll have to check it out. Thank you. Excellent recommendation. I don't know much queer history at all, says Dan. I can't even name the first gay. Oh, that's easy. It was me. Nah, I kid. Not that old. but yes. But yeah, I had said during the break that it and I'll read this out as well for anyone who missed it. It concerns me that people are taking the Google AI overview at face value. Like, no. You actually got to read the sources. The overview can and does just make stuff up. Yeah, like, it pulls things out of context. It gets things wrong. It just invents things. It's not great. Don't ever use that as a source, because it's not. I hate it so much. Edmund says, I need to watch more of your videos because I've only seen your soap making it. It was wonderful. Oh, thank you so much for watching my soap video. I feel like not a lot of people saw that, and it was a lot of work because I had to make soap. Katie says, see, in my opinion, not in-depth researching something like the hot dog sauce earlier isn't terrible. But not in-depth researching something like queer history is more dangerous. Yes, exactly, yes. It's, like, I'm trying to, so one of the topics that I'm trying to do a research on that because I was baking myself banana bread and then I fell down a rabbit hole is banana bread. And it's a lot, and it's harder than you think it would be. And I've had to try and, like, chase down newspaper clippings from, like, the late 1800s, early 1900s, and I'm encountering a lot of dead internet links and a lot of things that I probably will not be able to find unless I can, like, fly to St. Louis and access, like, the microfiche at, like, the public library. And even then, they probably don't have it, like... So, that's probably overkill for researching the history of banana bread. I might be able to just say, listen, there are some things that I wasn't able to find, but here's what I've got. But for things like when you're talking about, queer history and stuff, I think it's also it's dangerous. I think I have concerns about misrepresenting aspects of queer history. Some aspects of queer history, especially when things get, like, political, do get messy. Unfortunately, there are times and places where, things got not great, not necessarily just in terms of, like, societal stuff and, like, like those sorts of external pressures, but additionally, like, internal pressures from within the community. Like, oh god, I remember the famous case of, like, this big women's music festival that was like, that was, I think, the first major instance of me as, like, a young person becoming aware of specifically trans misogyny as a thing, because there was this big major, like, women's music festival, lesbian, yada yada yada, and they were very specific about, now they didn't have the terminology at the time, but they were very specific about you had to be a cis woman in order to attend. And a whole bunch of trans women got real mad about that, because, well, F you! That's not cool! And, I think, we want to, as much as we want to be like, hey, like, solidarity, here's some cool stuff about queer history, we also have to acknowledge, like, the bad stuff about queer history, so we'd be better than the people who ran that big women's music festival,
who were like, you don't get to be here if you're trans, which is garbage and bad, and they should feel bad about themselves. That's a stupid standpoint, and I don't like them. Anyways, sorry, rant over. I think I would certainly hope if you're here that we are all
Twitch
on the
user
same
Sammy
page
Kelch.
about trans rights.
Choppers.
And on that note, hi Stroops, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. And it's so good to see all of the beautiful capybaras. Hello, hello, and welcome. How was your stream? What'd you get up to today? It's so good to see you. Cat Leslie, hello, welcome in. Hello, hello. I hope you are well. Hello to Graves for Ghosts. Welcome in. And Elove, hello, hello, welcome in. Hello, all of the beautiful capybaras. Hello, Starubel. Hello, Fine Arts Steffi. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Joelle Victoria. Welcome in. And hello, Rabbit or Fox. Welcome, friends. I hope you are very, very well. I hope you had a wonderful stream. I got a shout out for you in the chat. Hopefully that works. There we go. And also, oh, thank you so much for the follow to Rabbit or Fox. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. How is everybody doing? How was your stream? What'd you get up to today? I would love to hear all about it. Oh, I think we may have an update above from Struble, and they said we are fundraising today for St. Jude, and now my face is full of chicken stickers. Oh, that is rad as heck. Also, that is super awesome of you. I love to hear it. Jin says I was supposed to raid with Stroops, but my PC crashed. Well, welcome in. You are bang on time, and it's wonderful to see you as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome. As always, Struble, as you know, we are an art tax optional stream. You are very, very welcome. If you would like to share what you were working on or some recent stuff or like a link to your Blue Sky or whatever, you are more than welcome to whisper a link in my direction. I'll be very happy to share it with the class. But if you need to raid and run, if you need to go make yourself some food or just go like decompress or whatever, that is also entirely fine. Your call. Entirely up to you. But with that being said, hi, welcome in. For anyone who's new here, my name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays, and every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy. I'm in fact feeling incredibly soft and melty today because it is like 32 degrees in the studio, so I apologize for the sound of the electric fan running under me, because otherwise I would die slightly. Cranky says window fusion, yay! We are painting just a little 19th century scene of these two lovely little hamster ladies who live together in this little cottage at the top of the hill. Historians will say that they were very, very close friends. Neither of them ever married, but they did seem to have a very romantic level of fondness if their letters are anything to go by. So, Also, gee, this field is going to be full of violets, and coincidentally their outfits will be in the colors of the lesbian pride flag, but I'm sure it's all just a coincidence. Anyways, thank you for coming in, everybody. I'm a traditional artist who works primarily in watercolors, but occasionally other related media. I've also started using gouache paints, which I have some of which over here, but I'm using the pastel shade set from Derwent today for an appropriately summertime feel, I hope. But yeah, we were talking about queer history and being mindful when reporting on queer history that, you know, you're actually doing the research correctly and not spreading misinformation, basically, in response to a podcast that I heard a bit of where it really felt like the research was insufficient, frankly. So Katie says in response to that on trans issues, nasty people always shout about trans women in sports. Yep. No one says one peep about trans men in men's sports places, even though there's history of women pretending to be men to achieve things. You know, it's just, I think, it's, I mean, obviously, like, the badness goes both ways, and both is bad. And I think there's something that, I think there's something specifically that, like, that, again, is super invalidating that, you know, like, TERFs, I think, generally tend to think of trans men as kind of non-threatening, because they think of them as just, like, misguided women. Which, again, ew. Ew. Ew.
I have a link if art text is still needed. Can you whisper it to me? I would very much love to see it and share it. Very much I would love to, if you would be inclined to do so. If anyone wants to know what my artwork looks like when it's done, I can also show you that. Okay, so first of all, earlier on I mentioned that I once dreamt that there was a cereal called Oops All Boxes, where instead of cereal, it was just tiny cereal boxes inside the box. And so I spent several hours the day after I had that dream photoshopping a bunch of tiny boxes onto a box, and then just it is like a matryoshka of cereal boxes on cereal boxes here. But anyways, that's not normally the type of art that I do. Mostly I do like little watercolors and gouache and things. So here's one that I did recently. This is a goblin riding the Gospel Oak to Barking line on the London Overground, which also colloquially known as the Goblin, hence having a goblin riding the goblin. Also, this seat maquette took forever to paint because it's just, if you've ever been on a public transit, you know that the patterns on their seats are real complicated. I don't think anyone should be harassed out of spaces where they belong. I agree with you, Katie. Anyways, we've got some linkage from Struble, so we're gonna go take a look and see what they've been up to. If I can grab a little linky-doo, I would love to do that. Anyways. Okay. Thank you for your service, Oops All Boxes, but let's take a look at what Struble's been up to. Oh, bless! They're so cute! Oh, I love them so much. Do y'all want to see some absolutely adorable Pride art? Yes, you do. The answer is yes, you do. Get a load of this absolute precious little birdie. And an ace birdie to boot. Oh, I love them so much. That's so cute. I love the way that their like plumage coordinates with the flag as well so well. That is so stinking cute. I love it. I love them so much. Oh, my heart. I don't know why this has just tickled me so much. This is an absolute friend and I love them so much, and I love... We're going to do many flags. Fantastic. I love this so much. I love Chef's Kiss. Wonderful. All of the flags. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing this absolutely stunning, adorable, delightful Pride art that makes me feel so happy. I love to see it. Love to see a bit of quality ace representation as well. Gumby, oh my god, hi! It's so good to see you. Welcome on in. Time to take the chickens off my face, Struble. It sounds like you did have indeed a very productive stream. I'm gonna get another shout out for you in the chat because I can do two kinds of shout out. So if you are not following Struble and you like whimsy and a really lovely, fun, adorable, inclusive space, please consider going and giving Struble a follow. I wholeheartedly recommend. They are an absolute delight. I'm getting a Doctor Who ad banner on this stream, says Advent. What are they advertising for? Just out of curiosity, Advent, what are they advertising for Doctor Who? Because, like, the last season ended a while ago, and there isn't any new programming coming out for a while. I think we talked about this a few streams ago when they announced that the BBC has, like, put out a tendering process for the next production company to do the next season of Doctor Who, which probably means it'll be a few years before we see the next season because Russell T Davies has stepped away and Ncuti Gatwa has regenerated, and yada yada yada. I didn't catch up with that series, but it looks like some of it was pretty good. Though I understand that the finale was bad. I get the impression that there were some last minute rewrites that kind of ruined it. Some streaming service. I see it's available on a streaming service too. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So they're probably like, hey, have you caught up with this show? If not, you can do that. Please do that. Fair enough. I'm assuming that it's on BBC iPlayer. I should probably catch up with it at some point, but I never saw the end of Chibnall's run as showrunner because I really didn't. I felt bad. Because it's one of those things where I worried that, like, when it comes to, like,
finally casting a little bit more diverse than having like a white man in the lead role. I'm like, yeah, I want to support that. And then I watched like the first bit of Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who seasons is with Jodie Whittaker in the role, and I was like, I don't enjoy this, and I don't want to keep watching it because it just annoys me. Nothing to do with the actor, nothing to do with the casting choice. I unfriended someone on Facebook when they announced the casting of like Jodie Whittaker, and they said that it was PC nonsense, and I was like, I don't want to be friends with you because you suck. But yeah, I feel bad that I coincidentally dropped off the show when like the casting of the leads actually became diverse, because obviously, you know, they had finally like a woman playing the lead role, and then following on from that, a black man playing the role, and I'm like, yes, I love this, I support this, both of these actors are phenomenal. I still don't feel like watching this show. It's really bad. I mean, you know, in my defense, I don't know, I'm watching other shows that are diverse right now. I'm making my way through Starfleet Academy. And you know, I may be middle-aged and it's a show about like 19-year-olds, but I like that show. I think it's fun, and I think it's cute, and I think it's good Star Trek. Do I think it's the very best Star Trek to ever be made? No, that's Deep Space Nine. Do I think it's like, I don't know, up in the top some number? Yeah, definitely. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I like the characters. I think they're really cute. It's a nice time. And anyone who thinks it's bad for, like, stupid reasons sucks. If anyone doesn't enjoy it because, you know, like, it's a story about a bunch of, like, undergraduate-aged children, and they are middle-aged, and it doesn't speak to them anymore because they're, like, you know, over 40, and they want to watch shows about people who feel like adults. Like, I get that, because there are a lot of shows that I don't watch because I'm like, it's a teen drama. I'm not really interested in teen dramas. Because I've kind of moved on from that type of media in my life for the most part. Though I do watch kids shows sometimes. I watched like 8 episodes of Bluey as an in-flight. And you know what? I understand why people like that show. It was really sweet. Would I choose to watch it just, like, as a childless adult who isn't a captive audience on an airplane? No, probably not, but I thought it was sweet. I get it. I've been watching Witch Hat Atelier. I hear that's really good. Are you enjoying it? I hear it's delightful. It's on that list of things I forget that I should probably at some point check out. Oh, Sammy, women can be time travelers too. I know! Hey! Edmund says, I still watch Steven Universe and Adventure Time as someone who doesn't have a child. Oh, man! Yeah, I watched so much Adventure Time back in the day, and I think I watched, like, the first season of Steven Universe, and I thought it was fun. But yeah, there's no age limit on this stuff. Like, who cares? Witch Hat is on track to be my favorite anime manga. Wow, that is a ringing endorsement, my friend. Like, damn. Okay, one moment, please, chat. Just, apologies. I have to attend to something, so just give me a second. Okay. Okay, nice and carefully. There we go. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, we're good. We had a trespasser. Sorry, there was a little buggy. So I had to evict them out the window. But you can tell it wasn't a spider because I didn't sound scared. Anyways, let me pop off of this screen. Thank you for bearing with. I'm back. Hi. Katie says, I'm willing to accept a minimum age on media, but there shouldn't be a maximum age on media. Listen, the extent to which I have been known to... I was talking about this with my moderator/spouse the other day, actually. The extent to which I have been known to, appreciate... I mean, more so from, like... Mostly more so from, like, an educational perspective as an adult. But, as an adult, I have very much an appreciation for Sesame Street in particular, both from like sort of the nostalgia, but also as someone who has studied a small amount of like developmental psychology and early education, I think that Sesame Street is a really interesting example of a really interesting sort of like older and enduring example of using the medium of television as a educational tool, and how it was originally intended, and sure still is, I'm sure, to kind of fill in the educational gap that existed at the time between children of different like income levels, and namely providing more of sort of a foundational education for preschool aged children from like more working class families who, you know, studies were showing were in many cases falling behind their sort of like middle class to and above peers. And I just think it's so laudable that they were like, yeah, we should do this. And then they did it. And then they just kept doing it for 50 years and they're still doing it. It just makes me so happy. It's so good. And it's really interesting learning about like the psychology behind the way that they, you know, sort of like present things and teach things and do stuff on the show. And also it's got Muppets. And obviously I love the Muppets. There is, if you like the Muppets, I recommend watching, the YouTuber Angela Collier recently put out a video about the Odyssey, because there's that Christopher Nolan film coming out, but specifically she did if you're not interested in anything else, go to the section where she does a fan cast of what a Muppet Odyssey movie would be like, and just be sad that that doesn't exist, because it sounds like it'd be so much fun. Anyways. Apparently Bluey is on iPlayer, because Sledge has linked it in the chat. Thank you, Sunshine. Freddie says, there's so much that I still want to watch. My brain has issues with new shows and films the last couple of years. Oh my god, me too! So it's mostly not happening, I made peace with that. Oh my god, me too. The number of movies that I'm like, yeah, I'd like to see that, and then I just don't do it. I don't know why. But I just don't do it. It's really bizarre. But, yeah. I don't know what's up with that. I find most of the new things I watch these days are like YouTube videos, and other than that, apart from Star Treks that I put on while I'm like working in the studio doing other stuff like painting, doing off-stream painting or sewing, yeah, I'm not really watching a lot of new stuff. I think part of the reason is that we just got rid of our streaming services, but part of the reason that we got rid of our streaming services is that we weren't watching anything on them, so, you know. Advent says that Witch Hat is good at being, balancing goofy and having nuance and morally gray characters. Love that. And also, Epic the Musical is a podcast musical, so no one can tell me picturing the characters as Muppets is wrong. That's the beauty of the theater of the mind, my friend. I find it... I actually... There are a few, like, actual play D&D podcasts that I listen to, and some of them are available in like video form where you can just watch the people sitting around a table and doing the thing. But I actually prefer just listening to them talking about the things rather than watching them sit around a table doing the thing. Because I find it, in terms of just like not playing Dungeons and Dragons myself, but listening to people doing like a role-playing game thing on a podcast, I find it a lot harder to immerse myself in following what's actually happening if I can see that they're just people sitting at a table. Even if they're dressed in little costumes, I still can't picture what's happening as well if I can see them. So, yeah. I tend to prefer... I know there's a few that just do, like, YouTube videos or whatever, and I haven't gotten into any of those. Because I'm like, no, if I can't just listen to it as a podcast, I'm not going to have a good time. Because I'm going to be like, that's not a dragon, that's a man. I can see him right there. Whereas if it's just happening in a podcast, I can just hear a voice and attribute that voice to a dragon. You know what I mean? Mm. Anyways, but yes, I'm gonna sip one of my many drinks because my throat hurts real bad. Yum yum delicious. Okay. I've decided to make a little change to this outfit. Namely, I think I want this to be a little... She's wearing a little waistcoat because she wants to feel dapper today, okay? So she's wearing a little waistcoat on top of a little, like, shirt waist, and then she's got her little skirts underneath. I've decided that's what's happening here. So she's wearing a little waistcoat suit. And I'm gonna paint in her skirts. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I feel like I picked up a lot of lavender on my brush, and like no lavender is being conveyed here. Because I want this to be a more purplish pink. And I feel like I'm having a time getting it there. That's more like it. Yay. Okie dokie. I'm trying to have their outfits. I always try and have their outfits slightly reflect a bit of a sapphic gradient, you know what I mean? I really want it to be unambiguous that these two hamsters are gently holding hands and smooching in the night times, and they love each other very much, very sweetly, very dearly. They like to smooch in the night times and other things that I can't talk about because it would violate TOS. So I won't, but I'm sure you can figure it out. We're all adults here. Anyways. Absolutely no scissors on the blanket. You don't want to accidentally snip the blanket fabric. That would be dangerous. Oh man, did you see? Now, in fairness, I know nothing. So this is to do with the Wicked, the musical, the movie. Sorry, Wicked, the book, the musical, the movies, because they made 2 of them. And there was some company that I think did a Wicked collab and released like pajamas or something with like fabrics inspired by the movie, book, musical. And specifically they had this design that was this pair of sort of like this sort of intertwined ornate fabric scissors, and one of them was pink and one of them was green, like the 2 ladies from the Wicked movie. But here's the thing, they stole that design from an actual queer artist. And I don't know if the people who turned it into like Wicked merch with stolen artwork, if they realized the significance of like this piece of symbolism. I don't think they did. I think they thought that, oh, this is a fun symbolic design that we're going to just wholesale steal and print on our like clothing. I felt super bad for the artist, but I also considered it very, very funny that that's the artwork that they chose to steal, which, like, do you understand the implications of using the whole... The implications of, you know? Do you? I don't think you do, or you wouldn't have done that. Because I'm assuming that whatever this brand was like sanctioned by Disney to create merch in or if it, I don't know, was it Disney or whoever owns that? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I thought that was very funny. But I also felt incredibly bad for the artist, and I hope that I think that design did get taken down because it got it got that company a lot of bad press, obviously. But I hope that it got a lot of positive attention to the artist who created the design, and also, you know, like, sells stuff. Because, I mean, that's one of those things that, like, it's kind of fan art, but technically it could also just be, like, an illustration of 2 pairs of scissors that coincidentally are pink and green, which could mean anything.
Definitely not anything that would violate TOS. Anywho, this stream is spicy. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not super sorry, but I'm lightly sorry. Anyways, but yeah, Karma's a bitch, says Freddy. I couldn't agree more. Okay, I'm gonna pick up some of this, I think it's corn flour, and I'm gonna add it to this purple blob I have here to make it heading towards blue, but still a nice soft perp. So we've got a nice sort of pink into purple gradients here in their outfits, because that is super hinged behavior. Listen, I'm not averse to going a little heavy-handed on the queer coding here. I think that's fine. I mean, I did one of the stickers that I added to my last shop update was very deliberately, where is she? So, you know. Anyways, oh yeah, so shout out to me. I have a shop where you can buy like stickers and prints and stuff if you ever felt so inclined. No pressure, obviously, but I do try and remind people that it's there if that's something they might be interested in. There's lots of really cute stuff if such things are your bag. There's stickers and prints and bookmarks, and nothing's particularly expensive. I do also have commissions if that is more your bag. If you very specifically want to see like your D&D character or 2 Star Trek characters who you really think should hold hands, holding hands, I will do that. I will definitely do that. Anyways, oh no. Y'all, I think they might be cute. I think they might be turning out really cute. I think a little bit of lint just fell from God knows where onto the canvas, but that's fine. I think they might be turning out real cute. I like these colors. I think the colors are good. Yeah, happy with this so far. But like I said, every time I've painted these two lovely lassies, they've always been in some manner of like this color scheme. So there's that one of, this is the other side of this hill, incidentally. This is an art print in my shop as well, in case you're curious. But that's the other side of the hill. That's the other side of the little cottage that you can see there. And this is them cycling down the hill. I don't know how they reach the little pedals. I think they kind of just let gravity take its course. But never mind. And the other one that I've done is, again, we've got a lot of, oh my god, you can see my Death Star lampshade in the reflection. Oh no, it's really, there we go, okay. But yeah, please also note the like large painting of a violet in the background of their little sitting room, and this was painted in basically just shades of purple, notwithstanding their like hamster fur. And she's bringing her dear one a nice cup of hot chocolate while she enjoys an improving book. Cock and Ball says that's no moon. You're right, it's not. Okay, British people in the chat, sound off if you also have the experience of hearing the Star Wars line, that's no moon, and for some reason thinking to yourself, it's an M&S moon. And then that Fleetwood Mac song plays in your head. You know, the one that M&S uses in their adverts, but it sounds kind of like soft adult entertainment to me for some reason. Anyways. So it goes. Lipstick hamster and chapstick hamster, says Headman. Aw, jeez. I haven't actually, I'm thinking about what their names are. I have been thinking about what their names are, and I think I've settled on one of them as Agnes, and I can't remember what we were thinking about for the other one. I forget now. Oh no.
Because I was like, I could be really on the nose and name them, like, Violet. I could name one of them Violet, but that feels too on the nose. But I think Agnes is a nice name, so I think one of them is probably going to be Agnes. I'm trying to think of names that are like were like popular for ladies in this period. So I did a lot of the looking up, but yeah, I think one of them is probably Agnes, and the other one is, oh my god, there was a name and I forget what it was. Heck. It was something that shortened very well, because there are a lot of like shortened names that were very popular in the period that kind of fell out of popularity. But yeah, oh man. Ooh, Bernadette's cute. Bernadette's cute as well. Oh man, what was the other? No, what was it? Heck. I did go through a lot of like. There are also a lot of like short formy names that just end up sounding like your circle of friends is very, very posh. If you're British, you'll understand. Like, if your friends' names are like Poppy and Dolly and Tilly and Millie, you're probably a certain type of person. But yeah, my chord organ is named Bernadette, says Advent. Aw, that's nice. That's nice. Please do give her my regards. Anyways, and on that note of still not quite knowing what these ladies' names are, but we'll get there. My moderator / spouse had some very good ideas, so I'll ask him after stream what his ideas were, because I genuinely do not remember them. Hopefully he does. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it there, because I am dying of sweat, and I don't want y'all to have to sit through another ad break, which I think is fairly imminent, and also I have to go serve up some dinner. We are having a lentil salad, and I'm very looking forward to it. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you again, Astrubal, for the raid as well. I'm going to see if there's someone online that we can do a little raid on, and continue the love in that direction. But, oh, Advent, one of those is my middle name. I shan't be saying which one it is. But excellently predicted somehow. I don't know. Anyways, if one of the hamsters often ooh, Katie says, if one of the hamsters often masquerades as a man, you could pick Theodosia, which shortens to Theo. Oh, that's cute as well. I like that. Fancy. But yeah, who's someone we haven't rated in a little bit? I wonder. Could say a little hello to. Oh, okay, cool. Let's say hi to Band. Let's see what Band is doing today. Probably something cool. Band is a fun, lovely person. Does some interesting artworks. And as always, a nice, soft place to land. So let me get that raid started. I don't believe he's about to finish. Doing some inks. Ooh, this is an interesting piece. I can't wait to see how this turns out. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning playing some Silk Song if that's something that piques your interest. And I am popping a generic raid message into the chat with some little ananas popping in to say hello. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you could just say generic raid message and append any cool emotes that you do have if you would like to. But regardless, I would like, if I may, to copy my own raid message, which doesn't seem... No, why are you not working? Okay, I have no idea whether or not I managed to copy the raid message, but anyways, there's the raid message. Hopefully that... Where's the rest of the raid message? Let me try again. Oh, man. It's gonna kick me out of my own stream before I can get the generic raid message up. Okay, you know what? Just one emote will do. For some reason, it gets real chuggy when I decide to start a raid. And it is definitely doing that right now, so whatever. Here's the raid message. You might have missed it. I don't know. I'm gonna leave now so we can raid. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been very, very fun. Sorry if I've been unhinged because it's been very sweaty, but I've had a fun time anyways. I'm gonna go sit with my face directly in front of a fan for a really long time because I'm super uncomfortably warm.
and have some bean salad out of the fridge for dinner. So yeah, thank you very much. Be back tomorrow morning to play some Silk Song, and have a good night, everybody. Good night and good luck.